This is CBC Winnipeg News.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. RCMP say they've put a big dent into a drug and alcohol trafficking ring in northern Manitoba. It comes after reports of arson and intimidation tactics being used against community members. So far, more than 24 people are facing charges, but RCMP say they expect more. CBC's Gavin Axelrod has more on Project Dairy.
Large quantities of drugs and guns taken by police as part of an investigation into a drug trafficking network run out of Bunnabonaby Cree Nation in northern Manitoba. The investigation began in June after RCMP say they got reports of arson and intimidation tactics in the First Nation, also known as Oxford House.
Drug traffickers who bring in and distribute these illicit drugs have no regard for the safety and well-being of community members.
2 kilograms of cocaine, hundreds of oxycodone pills, fentanyl and carfentanil were among the drugs police seized. Large quantities of alcohol were also seized.
Street value of the contraband seized in Oxford House is valued at least $1.2 million. Notably, our investigation found some buyers were given counterfeit oxycodone pills that were in fact fentanyl.
27 people have been charged. 18 are from Bunnabonaby. 22 remain in custody. There are warrants out for 4 people who haven't been arrested yet. RCMP say the suspected leader was already in custody at Milner Ridge when he was rearrested in November.
Individuals working within this organization distributed drugs and alcohol to local traffickers. They handled collection, payments, enforcement.
Bunnabonaby is a member of Keewatin Tribal Council. Grand Chief Walter Wastesicute hailed the police operation, but worries other drug dealers may pop up.
My hope is that this effort where they're taking down this network will impact other First Nations communities in the north in a good way, because I'm sure there are coordinated efforts through the same group in other communities.
Justice Minister Matt Wiebe says the province is committed to fighting crime in northern Manitoba.
That's why we've worked with the RCMP to invest in the policing of our northern and rural communities.
RCMP said Friday more charges and more arrests are expected. Gavin Axelrod, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It is messy and slow going in North Kildonan as drivers are being forced to reroute around a major water main break. These videos posted on social media show just how deep that water is. Main Street is now closed in both directions between Seaforth Avenue and Chief Peguis Trail. This was taken earlier. Drivers are trying to make their way through deep water along parts of Main Street when they were still open. The road is flooded and causing a disaster on the streets. The city says crews working on the North End wastewater treatment plant damaged a water main. It's now assessing the extent of the damage and potential impact to people in the area. Well, they were supposed to be moved out of encampments and into proper housing, but outreach groups say instead the city uprooted people with nowhere to go, leaving temporary or emergency shelters as their only options. It's all part of the city's plan to clean up tents around the city, but community organizations say it might be time for the city to rethink its new regulations. CBC's Felicia Adam has more.
On Friday, crews were cleaning up what remained of Mostyn Park. It's one of 10 encampments that have been cleared out since the city imposed new regulations. But as people get pushed out, community groups are asking the city to rethink the idea.
In the end, there just wasn't housing available to offer folks, so we had to look at emergency solutions like shelter spaces.
Jamil Mahmoud is the head of Main Street Project. He says there just isn't enough permanent housing.
There's so much risk when people have to leave an encampment or move that on days like this where it's frigidly cold, like our focus is really on the people and how do we make sure they're safe in this extreme weather.
Mahmoud says people who were living in Mostyn Park had to be put into temporary shelters, separating them from their community and from the gear they've collected to protect against the cold.
We've already have reports of some of the folks that we moved to Salvation Army are no longer there and then maybe have gone back out to encampments or streets, and so that's a concern. Now we don't know where they are, aren't able to provide them with resources and services or support them.
The new regulations ban encampments within 50 meters of specific locations like playgrounds, schools, bus shelters, and where there might be safety issues.
When we're just bulldozing encampments without that offer of housing, they'll just set up somewhere new.
Lori English is the head of the West Central Women's Resource Center. They've been working with Main Street Project trying to put people into housing. But until then, she says even temporary spaces are starting to run out.
Then they just scramble and they'll find another spot to set up a new encampment. So we're really just chasing the problem around the city rather than actually solving the problem.
CBC asked the city how many people have been relocated and whether they were put into permanent housing. They didn't get back to us in time for air. Felicia Adam, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba is trying to get workplaces to stop asking for sick notes, even before it becomes law. Doctors Manitoba has developed some tools to help workplaces manage employee absences without relying on sick notes. The CBC's Ian Fraser has that story.
A minor illness lasting a few days. Doctors don't want to write sick notes for that. And now physicians want to help businesses prepare for a future without sick notes.
We appreciate your efforts to reduce our paperwork, and we want to support you as partners as best that we can.
Doctors Manitoba has created new tools to help businesses. A template for businesses to create their own sick leave policies, and a form for employees to self-declare their illness so no sick notes are needed.
It gives employers straightforward, usable tools to help manage absences in a way that's based on trust, clarity, and good communication.
Doctors Manitoba is trying to get businesses ready before sick notes for short-term absences are banned. In the spring, the NDP plans to introduce legislation that says employers can only request a sick note after an employee's been absent for 7 consecutive calendar days or 10 days of work within a year. The organization launched a campaign earlier this year, arguing sick notes are a waste of time.
How can I help you today?
Well, I'm only here because I need a sick note for HR.
And argued this paperwork was taken away from time doctors spend with patients. Manitoba doctors file 600,000 sick notes every year.
I wrote 2 this morning before driving here.
Doctors Manitoba's next target, return to work forms after a prolonged absence. With many businesses doing these forms differently, doctors want them standardized. Ian Fraser, CBC News, Winnipeg.
Hundreds more dead birds have been found around southern Manitoba over the last month. The highest concentration of carcasses has been in Niverville, with close to 500 birds, mainly Canadian geese, found in that area alone. Separate dead birds have also been found near the Red River, north of the Perimeter Highway. It's a die-off scientists say they haven't witnessed in the province before and is being attributed to avian influenza.
A lot. It seems like a lot. It's a large number. Like, it's not uncommon to find a few birds that, kind of don't survive what should be their migration. But to see this many is definitely surprising. It's kind of surprising even that it would be due to influenza at this point.
Researchers say it's possible that with late migration, food was in short supply, making birds more susceptible to contracting different diseases all at once. Well, visiting Santa at the mall is a tradition for many Manitoba kids, but it's not always easy for those living in remote communities. So Santa got some help from his elves at Perimeter Aviation and Custom Helicopters to travel throughout northern Manitoba to deliver toys and, of course, treats. So far, he's visited more than 16 First Nations communities this week to find out who's been naughty and who's been nice. It's all part of MKO's Santa Express Tour. And Santa spoke with CBC over Zoom from Thompson.
It has been fabulous. I can't tell you how much of a pleasure it is to meet all of the little boys and girls here in northern Manitoba. And I've even had a chance to visit a few of the personal care homes in those remote communities.
Now, many of the children Santa visited were affected by wildfires this past summer. Riley's in now, and Riley, hopefully Santa doesn't need to get down Main Street with that flooded area there tonight.
And I hope he's got his block heater cable ready, because we're in for a very cold weekend across the province. Brittany, starting with a cold warning of the yellow variety in Environment Canada's new 3 color tiered warning system. So this being the lowest, but still a warning to prepare for very cold temperatures, significant wind chill factors, more -40 or lower at times through the weekend. This does include the city of Winnipeg, the Parkland, the Pembina Valley, into Westman, just because we are looking at some of those wind chill values and the potential for frostbite on exposed skin in 15 minutes or less as we get through the weekend here. So afternoon temperatures, I mean, high temperature wise, Winnipeg peaked at -11 first thing this morning, but that was at midnight. Once the cold front moved through with some of that snow overnight last night into the -20s for much of the province, -25 in Brandon, Churchill at -14 though through the afternoon today. -24 or so. There'll be some variation in that through the overnight hours tonight in Winnipeg. Mostly clear skies. Cold start to the morning tomorrow, Brittany, and we're barely out of -20 tomorrow afternoon. I'll have your full forecast just ahead.
Okay, thank you, Briley.
You're welcome.
All right, stay warm. We have much more local news straight ahead. Stay with us. Two Winnipeg men are facing drug charges in connection with a big crime bust in Ontario. Durham police say they've arrested 34 people and seized millions of dollars worth of drugs, including cocaine and fentanyl. Christian Davino has the details.
Well, this was a 9-month-long investigation by Durham Regional Police, and it quickly began to notice that it wasn't just centered around Durham Region. Now, 34 people, they've been charged across several different jurisdictions for a total amount of 139 different charges, with the last seizure happening yesterday, according to police. Now, 10 guns were also seized by officers during the course of this investigation. 4 of them have been confirmed to have actually been stolen from the city of Detroit, with the remaining of those weapons still being determined as to where they're originated from. Now, Detective Sergeant Brad Corner, he explains a bit more as to how this investigation developed.
In April 2025, members of the Durham Regional Police Services Gun and Gang Unit began a drug and firearm investigation in Durham Region. The investigation focused on a group of individuals who called themselves 44. Their criminal activities stretch well beyond Durham Region, reaching as far as Northern Ontario as well as Winnipeg. Members of this gang have flaunted their illicit earnings on social media, glorifying a culture that celebrates financial success through criminal activities.
Now, police said that 14 of these individuals were out on bail at the time of their arrest, and the Durham Regional Police Chief Peter Moreira, he took to expressing his frustration and anger about that specifically, saying that this really does bog down officers and it's a waste of resources. Here's what he had to say when calling for bail reform.
It's extremely frustrating. More importantly, it's extremely costly, and it endangers people in our community at a disproportional rate. Those that are out on bail are often committing offenses that flaunt and really, call into question the effectiveness of conditions at all.
Now, I asked officers if this investigation was considered to be over and if they've taken this group out. They did confirm to us, though, that they consider this investigation still to be ongoing. Christian Davino, CBC News, Whitby.
A man convicted of human smuggling last year is asking a United States court to let him represent himself in his appeal. Harsh Kumar Patel was sentenced to more than 10 years for his role in a human smuggling operation. It led to the deaths of a family of 4 from India in January 2022. They were parents with 2 small children. Patel says he has no choice but to represent himself in his appeal after he raised concerns with what he called incompetent conduct by his counsel. His lawyer says he would have filed an excellent appeal brief in the case, but respects Patel's choice. Traffic is flowing freely at a major Steinbach intersection tonight after nearly 2 years of construction. The multi-million-dollar project revamped the corner of Highway 12 and Lowen Boulevard, the home to many retail shops and restaurants. And as Jura McElraith shows you now, local businesses are glad the work is done.
Business owners at the junction of Highway 12 and Lowen Boulevard are feeling relieved. Bev Penner moved her storefront to the southeast corner of the intersection this May.
It was worth the little bit of an inconvenience that we had. And yes, we do have people coming in saying, oh, I'm finally coming to you now that I can actually get to you.
The $12 million project started in June 2024 with funding evenly split between the province and the city of Steinbach. Annual reviews determined the intersection was well overdue for an upgrade.
It was operating at a level of service F, which is basically the lowest it can get. So it definitely met the warrant for improvements.
Improvements include extra turn lanes, underground sewer and drainage systems, and the removal of overhead hydro lines. Sidewalks also got an upgrade to better connect to the city's active transportation network. While Penner can't quite say how the limited access affected her business at this new location, she said having a customer base built up over 13 years helped support them.
We had so many of our regular customers, they still came and they zigzagged their way around the construction and found us, and we were just grateful for the people that just kept coming.
Contractors will return early next spring to complete curb work, officially bringing the project to a close. Jura McElraith, CBC News, Steinbach.
Well, if you're hanging around home this holiday season, Animal Services are hoping you might be looking for a date of the 4-legged variety. The Doggy Dates initiative is a chance for people to check out an adoptable dog and bring it home. It started back in 2018 and lets you bring the pup home for a day or up to a week. It's a small step for pet lovers who aren't quite ready to adopt, and it's a chance to get the dogs out of the shelter and into some loving arms.
thought, what a great idea to bring these dogs out into the community, make sure that community members can participate in the important work that Animal Services does. And then through doggy dates, we get to know a little bit more about who the dog is outside of the environment that's very stressful that they're in.
If a dog-filled holiday interests you, visit Animal Service Agency at 1057 Logan Avenue and speak with staff there. And if you have those doggy dates and you go on some doggy walks, send us some photos. We love to see them.
Yes, dog walking forecast.
Right? Exactly. We could maybe get some of them adopted.
Yeah, exactly. Talk back at cbc.ca.
Cold
Dress
out there.
For it. Yeah. Dress for it if you're going to be out at any point this weekend, because we are looking at some very cold wind chill values and some very cold temperatures throughout the weekend as well. We have some Santa Claus parades happening across the province as well. So if you're taking the kids out, make sure you bundle up. I've got 5 for you tonight. Santa is going to be very busy between the hours of 5 and 6:30 or 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, starting in Winnipegosis, where the temperature for their parade likely around -23 as it's getting underway. 6 o'clock in Lundar, -21. Wind chill values hanging around the -30 mark. Feeling closer to -34 or 35 in Russell as that parade gets underway at about 6:30. The temperature for that -28 degrees. So do take care if you're going to be out in parts of the west, and -14 in the afternoon on Sunday for Erickson with a mix of sun. Some cloud starts to build into the weekend, which I'll show you here as we get into the forecast. So high pressure has really cleared us out. Mostly sunny skies, a bit of cloud cover, a few stray flurries through the evening still along the Hudson Bay coast, but very windy conditions in Churchill. Looking at winds gusting up to 70 as we head into the day on Saturday. The rest of us into mainly sunny but breezy conditions to start tomorrow. The wind does start to back off as we get through the day, as this high pressure starts to push south. And then I'm watching another weak disturbance that'll push through. First, a warm front comes through. Doesn't really do much to our temperatures. Does bring them closer to seasonal as we get through the day on Sunday, but it's short-lived because another cold front comes through, and that's going to drop things again as we get into Monday morning. But we are looking at things warming up by the middle of next week. So here's that blast of Arctic air that sits over Western Canada, really putting the chill on temperatures right to the territories, parts of northern British Columbia, even into the parts of the Plains states in the U.S., feeling some very cold temperatures as we head into the weekend. But as we start to get into next week, you'll notice a ridge starting to form in the jet stream. And as we get Monday into Tuesday, that's going to really pump in some very warm southerly air. And actually on Tuesday, looking at temperatures above the freezing mark, it's very short-lived as another system pushes through. And then we're looking at some very cold weather by the end of next week. So you'll see some of the numbers in your 7-day forecast, but we're looking at a brief reprieve from some of this as we get into next week briefly here, Tuesday, Wednesday timeframe. So temperatures first thing in the morning, -26s, -27s in the west. This is where we're looking at wind chill values close to the -40 mark, frostbite on exposed skin in 10 minutes or less first thing in the morning. First thing in the morning around -24 or so in Winnipeg through the Interlakes, still cold nonetheless. -19 tomorrow afternoon, -15 into Sunday, Brittany. A bit of extra cloud cover, maybe a few stray flurries into Monday, and then we're looking at snow moving into next week.
Okay, thanks, Riley.
You're welcome.
And here's a look at one beautiful home in River Heights. It's all ready for the season. More to come straight ahead. The city of Abbotsford in BC remains under a state of emergency as swollen creeks and rivers threaten even more flooding across the Fraser Valley. More than 450 homes, farms and businesses now under evacuation orders, and roughly 1,700 others are on standby. Yasmin Renea has the latest.
Flooding in BC's Fraser Valley is expected to reach its peak Friday as hundreds of residents are being told to stay away from their homes. Water levels in parts of the Sumas Prairie rose after the Nooksack River in Washington state spilled over its banks. Several major highway routes and schools in the area remain closed.
I want to reassure everyone that the province, local governments, and emergency teams are working with urgency and doing everything in their power to keep homes, farms, and businesses safe.
The city of Abbotsford remains under a state of emergency. The province says some poultry barns in the area were lost overnight and additional animals are being relocated.
Anytime a farmer loses livestock, it's heartbreaking and it's traumatic, and my heart goes out to those families.
South of the border, thousands have been ordered to flee their homes. There have been no reports of deaths, but U.S. officials are stressing the potentially lethal nature of the record-breaking flooding. Environment Canada says the Fraser Valley is expected to see some light rain, which forecasters say could help lower water levels. But the reprieve could be short-lived, as another atmospheric river is expected to hit the region Sunday and Monday.
Now is the time for people in flood areas. If you have not done so already, pack a grab-and-go bag. Make it ready. Have the essentials that you need if you are asked to evacuate suddenly.
Residents are being urged to stay out of evacuation areas and away from all flooded roads. Yasmin Renea, CBC News, Vancouver.
And the mayor of Abbotsford provided an update on the flooding and had some tough words for the federal government.
We need action, and we need action now. We don't need empty promises from the federal government that they have our back. In fact, the federal government has not even reached out to me during this event. So I'm profoundly disappointed.
Now, just south of the border, floodwaters are continuing to rise in Washington state after days of heavy rain there. Tens of thousands of residents are under evacuation orders in the western part of the state. U.S. Coast Guard air crews are rescuing people stranded on rooftops.
We have some tension on the line. Okay. Let me know when you want me to hold.
Washington's governor has declared a state of emergency. Water levels on several rivers in the area have hit record highs. Historic flooding has triggered road closures, landslides, and washed out rail lines. Millions of people are under flood alerts. An early Christmas gift for Mark Carney's Liberal government, courtesy of Michael Ma. The former Conservative MP crossed the floor to join the Liberals on Thursday. It was a jaw-dropper because Ma was at the Conservatives' holiday party the day before he jumped ship. Here's the CBC's Ashley Burke on what happened behind the scenes.
So let's give a warm welcome to our newest member of the Liberal Party.
A big move that took the Conservatives by surprise. MP Michael Ma joining the Liberals, leaving his party behind.
You are going to have a much better time spending Christmas with us than Christmas with the Cranks.
The Liberals now only one seat away from a majority government.
We welcomed over 300,001 new Liberals. The year's not over. Year's not over. That's all I'm saying.
Some Liberal ministers now claim there are more disgruntled Conservatives that could defect too.
You've seen 2 to date. There are others, that is for sure. Others exist.
I think there's some that will do some soul searching during the vacation.
Chris D'Entremont crossed the floor in November, saying he disagreed with the Conservatives' leadership style. Matt Genereux abruptly announced his resignation. Now Ma has left too.
It's frustrating. It's sad. I think it undermines a healthy culture here because you want to believe you can trust people, and this makes you second guess that.
Conservatives are taking aim at Ma for going to their Christmas party on Wednesday, taking a photo with his family and leader Pierre Poilievre, and accepting a Secret Santa gift from a fellow MP, but not giving one out himself.
There's like kind of a dishonorable aspect to this. Like the guy went from doing the conga line at our conservative Christmas party to literally 24 hours later leaving our party. Also leaving me without a Secret Santa gift, by the way, just as a note.
Mr. Ma.
Sources say after Ma voted with the Conservatives in the House yesterday, he met with the Prime Minister and the minister who helped bring him over, who he became friends with because they have neighboring ridings. Not long after that meeting, the Liberals announced they had gained another seat. Now the Conservative MP who gave Ma that Secret Santa gift says he wants his Amazon Fire Stick back. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Ottawa.
Montreal to Ottawa will be connected in the first phase of a high-speed rail network. But as Alexander Silberman shows us, the costly project faces a number of hurdles and skepticism.
Canada's first high-speed rail network, a step closer to breaking ground.
We are talking about a generational investment that will shape the Canadian economy for decades to come.
The federal transport minister announcing the first leg of the plan, 200 kilometers of track connecting Montreal to Ottawa, and a goal to begin construction in 2029 on a project promised for decades.
It is a relatively short and straight portion of the overall route. And you know these high-speed trains, they don't like curves. They need to go in a straight line.
The fully electric train would include a stop in Laval, Quebec, eventually connecting Toronto to Quebec City. The total cost estimated to be $60 to $90 billion.
It's about time.
The first phase of a speedy rail link, which would cut the 2-hour trip in half. A welcome idea for these travelers.
I live in Ottawa and I visit Montreal, so I like that.
Being able to connect those two cities with only 1 hour, so I think it's great.
The exact route has yet to be finalized, but Ottawa says it will launch widespread public consultations in January, all part of a push to keep the project on track.
This is a huge deal. This is evidence that the project is actually making progress, that there is a concrete next step for what will happen with the line.
But there are complex challenges ahead, including that faster time frame, and it's expected land will need to be expropriated to build the line.
Projects like this do experience pushback from the residents that are on the way. People are worried about the construction impacts, they're worried about the noise.
The federal government says it's fast-tracking the project and hopes to break ground within 4 years, but there's still no clear timeline on when the high-speed train could start running. Alexander Silberman, CBC News, Montreal.
A member of the Canadian Military Intelligence Branch was arrested Thursday night and charged with several offences under the National Defence Act. Master Warrant Officer Matthew Robar worked for the Canadian Forces Intelligence Command. The Department of National Defence says Robar was charged with passing classified information to a, quote, foreign entity. He faces 8 charges and could be tried by court-martial. The arrest is the result of a joint investigation between the military and RCMP. Ontario police say they've cracked 3 cold cases, murders of women that happened in the 1980s and 90s. And all of the cases are connected, and police believe it's the work of a serial killer. Lisa Shing explains.
Thank you.
Answers at long last for 3 families tied to 3 separate cold case murders.
These women were never forgotten. And it is because of the commitment of so many that we are able to give their loved ones at least one crucial answer today.
Toronto and Ontario police now say this man, Kenneth Smith, was a serial killer operating over the last 2 decades. He died in 2019 in Windsor, Ontario, at the age of 72.
His death means he will never be held to account in a court of law.
Police say in 1982, Smith killed Christine Prince, a Welsh woman working as a nanny in Toronto, after she had a night out with friends. A year later, Claire Sampson was found dead north of the city, last seen getting into a car with an older man. The 3rd known victim, nursing assistant Gracelyn Greenidge, was beaten to death in her Toronto apartment in 1997.
I've known her for 20 years. She was more like a sister to me.
There were rewards and public pleas like this one, but for decades, the murders went unsolved. Smith was known to police here in Toronto. He had a history of sexual assault and was incarcerated multiple times, but he wasn't connected to these cases until crime scene DNA was untangled and linked to his close relatives.
That's one of the biggest problems with DNA right now, is having a mixture of the offender DNA with the victim's DNA.
This case, another example of police using new techniques to solve complicated old cases.
So this is a process that takes time. This is not as simple as an offender who cuts themselves on a window.
Just the fact they know the police are still looking into things like this gives so many families hope.
With these 3 murders now solved, police say they are now investigating whether there are other victims linked to Smith. Lisa Shing, CBC News, Toronto.
3 Scottish men accused of killing an Ontario restaurant owner appeared in court Friday in Owen Sound. That happened after their extradition from Scotland to Canada earlier this week. 25-year-old Robert Evans faces a manslaughter charge. His father, Robert Busby Evans, and uncle Barry Evans are charged with being accessories after the fact. The men will be held in jail until their cases work through the courts. Police have said restaurant owner Sharif Rahman died in August 2023 after being punched outside his restaurant while confronting customers who'd skipped out on bail. The men were arrested in Scotland in 2024. And there's a viral late-night phenomenon happening right here in Winnipeg. So what's attracting hundreds of people to a grocery store? We'll have that answer next. Okay, would you head to the grocery store to party on a Friday night? Well, Filipino grocery store chain Seafood City is holding pop-up events that are transforming stores across North America into after-hour parties. Dubbed Late Night Madness, the events have gone viral on the internet. Here in Winnipeg, the pop-ups attract hundreds of young people to a club-like atmosphere without a drop of alcohol being served. CBC's Jim Agapito has more.
Filipinos, we love to party. Anytime we can celebrate with food, music, and family, we're in.
The Filipino calendar is full of parties known as kasayan. I've been to lots growing up, where communities come together to eat, dance, and just be together.
So maybe it should be no surprise that Filipino supermarket chain Seafood City has turned grocery shopping into this.
Dubbed Late Night Madness, these after-hour pop-up events have been transforming Seafood City grocery stores into late-night party spots.
It's just really become more than just a party, honestly. When people talk about the experience that they feel when they're in these celebrations, that it's able to introduce not only food, but even the culture of how we are as a Filipino people.
One hop this time. Right foot, 2 stumps. Left foot, 2 stumps.
Francisco estimates there's been about 40 parties like these across the US and in Canada. But it's not all about community. These pop-ups have resulted in profits and in bringing a new demographic.
I think these events definitely pull like the younger crowd from like Gen Zs to even like millennials.
If you look around, a majority of the people at this party fit that age group. And there might be a reason for that.
For the typical Gen Z, they want something that's going to enrich their lives. They want an experience over, just a product.
Divya Ramachandran is a professor in the marketing department at the University of Manitoba. She says Seafood City is leveraging a growing trend of soft clubbing with the Late Night Madness pop-ups that attract a younger demographic with experiential events. Soft clubbing events have all the things a nightclub would, but without alcohol. And to millennials and Gen Zs, that matters.
They place huge importance on their health, on their physical and mental health. And given the fact that there's been sufficient anecdotal as well as scientific evidence linking, alcohol consumption to not so great mental health outcomes, I feel like there is a layer of that understanding. You have your whole clubbing experience. You still feel like you're drinking, tasty mocktails or non-alcoholic beverages, but you can still wake up the next day and do that run that you are so used to doing every other weekend.
Partiers at this pop-up said no drinking was a draw.
Alcohol nullifies, and when you're trying to interact, it's just like really hard. So coming here to like a non-alcohol party, it's just like really refreshing to me and to all of like my friends, because like we just enjoy partying and like celebrating.
I don't really drink, so I kind of like the vibes. Nice to see everyone just having fun without having a drink.
And you've been coming here how many times so far?
Well, this is my third, what was that? 2, 4, there'll be my 5th one technically. Well, for me, I don't really drink that much unless it's special occasions. But I mostly like music. I really love music.
Me and her, we do not drink or do any of that sort of stuff. And we really like free events and that.
That comfort level is important for Gen Zs and millennials looking to socialize, according to Ramachandran. And it doesn't necessarily need to come from sharing an ethnicity, although that helps, she says. For younger generations, interacting on social media platforms or communicating through text can create inhibitions about in-person hangouts, she says. But events that focus on a niche thing can help eliminate that anxiety, giving them room to have a new experience and find something in common.
Sense of, okay, I'm safe, but I also have this opportunity to explore a little something new and try being social, IRL, in real life.
The last Late Night Madness pop-up is happening in Winnipeg, December 12th and 13th. Jim Agapito, CBC News, Winnipeg.
It looks like fun, but you lost me at late night because this girl likes to go to bed by 10 o'clock.
But you know what? A good way to keep warm.
Right?
On a cold winter night.
Exactly. There's still one more left this year.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta dance your booty off.
Oh, yeah. Fun time for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, this weekend, stay inside. I mean, you know what? If you bundle up, if you dress for the weather, hey, it's not all that bad out there. This will be good for the outdoor rinks, as I know we're itching to get out and get skating outside. This will be good for the river trails, so we can do it. Let's do Feline Friday first, because you know what? You couldn't go wrong with a cat like Cleo. Thank you, Alan. Just enjoying the Christmas tree, enjoying the vibe of the season. Send your pictures to talkback@cbc.ca. So tomorrow we are looking at windy conditions to start, but as we get through the day, we'll look at that wind starting to ease a little bit, but still at times a bit breezy as we get through the day. Really not going much further than I think -19 in the afternoon, but another sunny day ahead. So if you're a fan of the sunshine, this one's for you. Okay, I want to talk about freeze times just a bit because I have used wind chill quite a bit throughout the evening here. So just to remind you and to get us all on the same page, what exactly that translates into when you're looking at some of these wind chill values. So into the early morning hours across southern Manitoba, looking at wind chill values around the -40 mark. So that's frostbite unexposed skin in 10 minutes or less. So ideally, if you do have to be out, really dress for the weather, really bundle up and cover any exposed skin if you can, because we are looking at a chilly one. Here's a look at some of those readings first thing in the morning in the -40s, feeling close to the -40s up the western edge of the province, feeling closer to -41 in Brandon first thing in the morning. This is where temperatures, as you'll see in your overnight forecast here, are closer to the -30 mark overnight tonight. Still a west wind, 30 gusting to 50 at times through parts of western Manitoba tonight. -30 in Roblin, -27 in Verdun, -27 in Swan River, -28s for Flin Flon, the Pas. Mostly clear skies to a partly cloudy sky through the overnight hours, -31 in Tuduli Lake. And as we get into the day on Saturday, sunshine. We'll get that clearing into northeastern Manitoba, where it will still be slightly warmer. As we get into southern Manitoba, looking at temperatures not even getting out of the -20s for parts of the province as we get through the day tomorrow. -19s through the Inner Lake into the Red River Valley, -20 in Emerson, and looking at temperatures, Brittany, close to -20 in northwestern Ontario as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Riley.
You're welcome.
Well, have you made your Christmas list yet? Because, well, you might want to check it twice, especially if it includes some of the latest AI toys that are on the market. As Nisha Patel explains, some of them may not be a wise choice for your kids.
Hello, I'm Alilo. Let's be best friends.
AI chatbots are being built into toys. They can connect to Wi-Fi and use microphones and speakers to have conversations with kids.
These toys need a lot more work and probably more regulation before it's really safe for them to end up in the hands of kids.
Researchers warn the toys have loose safeguards and can expose kids to inappropriate or even risky content.
One of the toys in particular gave us information on how to light a match and also gave us pretty detailed sexually explicit information. It was very shocking, kind of a jaw drop moment.
When this comment went viral,
kink can be a way that some people express their feelings and trust in a relationship.
Singapore-based toy maker Follow Toy pulled its AI teddy bear from the market, but is resuming sales, telling CBC News in a statement, "We conducted a thorough review of all our products, strengthened child safety protections, and updated all our products with new safety rules."
I'm here to be your cheerful companion.
There's also concern AI toys could disrupt kids' social and emotional development.
They're less enriching. It takes away from normal, routine child-parent interactions and play and fun and imagination.
While many of the products are marketed as educational, doctors say nothing beats human interaction.
Eye contact, tone of voice, facial expressions, that's how babies' brains grow, learn, and develop. So that's the foundation. And you can't get that from a screen or an AI toy.
Hello. These toys are still fairly new and uncommon. Welcome to Barbie's world! But toy giant Mattel has said it would partner up with tech titan OpenAI.
If you end up having AI Barbie, it's going to open the floodgates, and I don't know that that's a good thing.
Current regulations don't address AI, so now more than ever,
You are my best and favorite friend in the whole world.
It's buyer beware. Nisha Patel, CBC News, Toronto.
This show created a bonding experience for like 70,000 people all at once. There's something very special about that.
The first 2 episodes of
airs
Taylor
about
Swift's
2 years
6-part
before
documentary into last year's record-breaking Eras Tour is now streaming on Disney+. The pop singer also released a concert film of the last show of the tour at Vancouver's BC Place today. 2 episodes of Swift's The End of an Era will be released each week through Boxing Day.
All right, maybe you're like me and need to get some shopping done over the weekend. If you're heading out, well, here's a look at what you can expect in Winnipeg and really across most of the province. Very cold conditions, minus 19 in Winnipeg for Saturday, minus 15 as you're heading out into Sunday. So bundle up if you're out doing some shopping. And make sure you plug the car in tonight as well, because we're looking at temperatures dropping. I mean, inside the city, minus 24, that's probably closer to downtown, but further out, more likely around -25 or even -26 at times. -19 as we get into the afternoon tomorrow. Chilly morning ahead into Sunday, -15 by the afternoon, all the way up to +1 on Tuesday. And this is where I'm looking at a system pushing in that will give us some snow as we get into the Wednesday, Thursday time frame next week. -2 for Wednesday, and then back to -18 for Thursday. Well, for over 30 years, a Newfoundland woman has kept a shed full of beautiful secrets behind her home.
Every inch of wall space in her backyard shed is covered in nativity scenes. Her collection from all around the globe is our daily lift.
Every man got a shed, so I kind of figured why not a woman? So welcome to my nativities from all over the world. You are currently visiting me in my nativity shed in Orchard Cove, Conception Bay, Newfoundland. So welcome. What you'll find here is a collection of nativities from all over the world that I've been collecting for the last maybe 35, 40 years. Saw a couple, I'd like them. Sometimes I bought one or two, and then people started giving them to me as gifts. And after a while, I had a lot of nativities. Most people just stop at the doorstep and are in awe that, there's so many, and that they're cataloged to a point, and that they're so different. But yet they tell the same story. Kind of lost count in the last couple of years. So I estimate anywhere between 1,200 plus. This one is one of my favorite ones. So the Murano glass collection, if anybody has occasion to go to Italy, the one in the corner was crafted by a gentleman in Winterton, and it was crafted out of a pew in the Anglican church over there, and it depicts the Newfoundland manger scene. For me, it's calming. It's been therapeutic on times, and it's just been a labor of love.
I was just saying that I wonder if anybody ever goes in there and mismatches them all.
I'd love, though, that she says that they all look different, but they all tell the same story.
Right?
It's
wonderful.
I love it.
Have a wonderful weekend. Stay warm.
Yes.
We'll see you here
stay warm.
Monday.
Bye.